I have a question specifically related to your business of furniture. How often should I change my furniture? Like my
Every
couch?
day, as far as I'm concerned.
Right, every day.
Every day,
So I'll
because
come back
there's no point me selling you something if you're not going to keep coming back. So I would prefer to be like the supermarkets, and you can get furniture and you can chuck it out and get a new one every day.
So
that would be ideal for me. In fact, actually, you know what would actually make me even better would be if you chucked out in the morning, came and bought a new one in the afternoon, and after that chucked that one out and got one for the evening, and then late evening you could come and get another one.
That's great.
But unfortunately, that's not the way it works.
No, you're not going to help me chuck it out, no?
Oh, well, certainly if I'm going to get a new one out of it, yes, I would certainly give you assistance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I would if I could.
Yeah, but I mean, these things are quite costly. Good furniture costs money, and there's a reason good furniture costs money.
Okay.
Because it has to last a period of time.
Yep.
Now, whether it's a sofa, I mean, let's take, for example, a bed.
Right.
Now, if you take a bed, for example, how long is a bed supposed to last? Well, the answer's got to be 7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years for a bed.
Can you think of any other product? And I'll give you a couple of minutes to think about it. Right?
I'm just going to sit here.
7 or 8 hours every single day of the year that you use in the house for at least 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, 50 weeks a year, for a period of 7 years.
Well, I'm going to take it for granted that you've already thought about this,
yes,
and that you know the answer because there's nothing, right?
Yeah, the answer's right. There's nothing comparable to an object that you use for 7 or 8 years. Yeah. And I'm assuming you're going on holiday for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I've taken that 2 out to be 50 weeks of the year. But you're using it every single day. Now, how uncomfortable would you be if you got an uncomfortable bed?
You'd be uncomfortable like most of your life, right?
Exactly. And that would lead to your mood swings.
Wow.
And that would be your work-life balance, as they call it, these coaches.
Yep.
The work-life balance. And that would... Then it's the same thing with your car. It's something that you're going to use all the time. It's the wise old man once said, the son to the father, Dad, where should I spend my money? And his father turned around and said, spend it mostly on the stuff you use every day. I see you're wearing glasses, you use them every day. Mm-hmm. A good pair of shoes, a good car, a good bed, and a good sofa. Wow. When you get that work-life balance all right, everything all falls into place.
It's really fascinating you pointed that out because I believe that value is very much connected to use of a product. And I'm really happy, personally, investing as much as I can in something if I know I'm going to use that thing every day.
The thing is, the misconception is basically the family car.
Right.
The car sits outside for your neighbours to have a look at. And inside your home, for a long period of time, nobody used to see. Mm-hmm. But that's changing. That's changing to such an extent that YouTube videos are actually made at home, in the environment. Zoom videos are made actually in the home. Mm-hmm. And you're now getting to see a little glimpse behind what people are actually doing in their living room, their bedroom. That, like I say, that's completely changed. Yep. And you can turn around and say, that's an awful Aura sofa. Aura being not nice or awful. just for those who maybe just don't understand that terminology.
Me.
So, but people spend thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on a car to impress the neighbours.
Yeah.
That they won't use 8 hours a day. They may take an hour to get to work. They may take an hour to come back. They may be an hour somewhere else. It's only 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that thousands of pounds of cars sitting outside, depreciating. You're not making any money out of that. You're going to lose money out of that.
Yeah, I often think about that if I see some famous person who's got some garage with 3 Ferraris or something.
You can only use one at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, and another thing about a Ferrari, if it goes to 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, another way I like to think of it is, You can kill a child at 0 to 60 seconds in 3 seconds. Because you can't operate that kind of machinery on the current roads and the conditions that are here.
Yeah.
Unless you've got a wide open road and a wide open runway to play with it. What's the
Yeah.
point?
Yeah, it's like all those adverts for cars have no other cars on the road. Yeah.
Absolutely. It tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah, you never see the car like in the traffic jam in the city, basically, in the advert. So they're all selling a fantasy of some kind. to
It's all
people.
electrical powered now. So you don't know what's going to happen when the Ferrari sits next to the traffic light. He's going to run out and pull the cable out the traffic light and stick it into the Ferrari so it's got more juice.
It might happen. I think they're going to end up like plugging into the roads or something. I don't know how they're going to get it.
Yeah.
Or I remember early 1980s, and I don't know why I remember this because I was only born in 1975, so I'd have to be like 6 or 7 years old. But Clive Sinclair's
Sir Clive Sinclair, yes.
yeah,
the C5.
Yeah, the madman, and in a good way, right? Because you have to be kind of a bit
Sinclair's
mad.
ZX Spectrum.
Oh, absolutely. What was the one with the rubber keys that kept getting stuck? Because it was like one of the first home computers ever, and for games, that is. Anyway, he had that Sinclair C5 that was solar powered, and it was like 1980, and he went around the world.
Yeah.
And here we are, 2020, 40 years later, and where's the car? Where are the solar cars? He went around the world 40 years ago. What happened to them? Where did they go?
It's not necessarily the guy that's got the best idea or the best invention. It's sometimes the people that get behind him,
right,
and implement it. And it depends on how you sell the product.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to sell the masses of population something that Sir Clive Sinclair did, there's always a fact that there's nobility associated with that, so ordinary people aren't going to like that. So you've got this Sir Clive.
Right.
Whereas if you've got somebody that's ordinary like Steve Jobs
or Elon Musk, maybe,
it's a different ball game. Although Clive Sinclair Sir Clive Sinclair, as I should say, was phenomenal guy, way ahead of his time. Cambridge educated, by the way.
Yeah, it's interesting that some things go and some things don't, right?
Yeah. I mean, the iPad had a predecessor called the Apple Newton. And it was quite bulky, had the same sort of technology and all the rest. Amstrad had one before as well. It didn't quite take off. And sometimes it's a public perception of how technology is. I mean, sometimes in the mind of technologists, it's not what the public really want. And that can take a long time to actually understand for the technologists because it's all about the same thing, customer service. The thing is, what I want and what you want are two different things. What you think I want is two different things.